Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis, your host, and today is day 19 of Evergreen month. So this is the month that we have made and designated for the Evergreen terms that Wizards of the Coast uses for explaining all of their key mechanics. Sometimes it's a mechanic on the card, sometimes it's a mechanic of the game. In this case it's the latter. Today's subject is discard, which is one of my favorite decks to play, favorite types of deck to play. And quick overview of the deck, only 17 creatures, 21 lands. It's a little bit light on lands, but we have a couple of other dual mode cards that can act as tap lands if we need it to get us up to 23. So going through the deck, we've got 2 Bloodchief's Thirst. We can get rid of the cheap creatures with 1 black mana or spend 4 for the kicker cost and get rid of a larger creature or planeswalker. Getting into the discards, 3 Duress copies. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and that player discards that card. 2 Typhoid Rats, 1/1 Death Touchers. 1 Acquisitions Expert. This has the party mechanic, so if we have additional creatures, it gets better. But basically, you put her on the battlefield, target opponent chooses a card from their hand and shows it to you, and you discard that card. Let's see, where do I have? I have Malakir Blood-Priest, which is a cleric. So if the cleric's on the field with the rogue, then the opponent chooses 2 cards, shows them to me, and I get to choose one of those 2 cards to discard. And so on and so forth up until you have 4 members of the party. More often than not, I usually just have the Acquisitions Expert out. 2 Agonizing Remorse. The target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, or you can choose something from their graveyard. So say they've got a Kroxa or a Pelakka out, and maybe you want to get rid of that instead. You can choose to do that. So it's a little more versatile card than Duress. That's why it's more expensive. You do have to lose 1 life, but you get to exile the card instead of discard. Also, there's a limit on Duress because you can't choose a creature. Non-land, non-creature. With Agonizing Remorse, you can get rid of a creature. 1 copy of Feed the Swarm. That's mostly for me to destroy pesky enchantments because Black has a hard time with that. 1 copy Grasp of Darkness to do -4/-4 to an enemy creature. 2 Heartless Act. And this is kind of the issue with discard decks, is you have to have a equal balance between removal and discard, because at some point, whether they're an early cheap deck or because they've got enough mana they can afford not to keep anything in their hand for you to force them to discard, they can just afford to draw a card and put it on the battlefield immediately. You're going to need removal. So you can start off by putting every discard card that there is in your hand, in your deck when you create it, but you're going to lose. Okay, so the question is, how many discards do you have to take out and put other cards in before you feel you can no longer call it a discard deck? 2 Malakir Blood-Priest. You put this guy out, your opponent loses a life, you gain a life. If you have something like a rogue with him, then it's 2. He loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. 1 copy of Subtle Strike. You can pump up your own creature with a 1/1 counter for a turn, and target creature gets -1/-1. And this can sometimes be the difference if your enemy's done the calculation, is willing to trade, or he thinks he's got him beat, and you save your creature. Since we have so few creatures, this is very handy. Tymaret, chosen from death. Since this is an all-black deck, this is easy to put him in because his toughness is equal to Devotion to Black. So whatever we put down, his toughness is going to increase. His real special power, why he's really here, is he can exile target cards from graveyards. So this is good against, again, the escape cards like Kroxa and Pelakka, get rid of them. And also there's more cards that we're coming up against that are sort of reanimator decks or dredge decks, and it's good to get rid of some of that stuff. 1 copy of Mazemind Tome. You can use it to either scry or to draw a card. By the time you use it 4 times, you gain 4 life. That's to help us out with card draw, because it's easy to end up, say you've used your discards extremely well and your opponent has no cards in his hand, and then he gets lands. He just puts the lands down, and then he can put down anything that he gets. He doesn't keep anything. So we're at real risk of having some discard cards in our hand and nothing to do with them. So we probably would need to see Mazemind Tome at some point when we get to that kind of situation to help us draw our way out of that. 2 copy of Demon's Disciple. To get rid of their creatures, you choose 1 creature to sacrifice, and we sacrifice 1, usually the Disciple himself. 1 copy of Elspeth's Nightmare. Destroy target creature and opponent controls with power 2 or less. And then they reveal their hand. We choose non-creature, non-land, target like Duress, and they discard that card. Then we exile our opponent's graveyard. And one of the few modern Strixhaven cards I've delved into here, Go Blank, where they discard 2 cards, and then you exile all cards from that player's graveyard. So that's like the 3rd chance that we have to exile cards from their graveyard. Grim Tutor costs us 3 life, and if you wait too long to use it, it'll be useless. So you have to really learn how to use this card properly. But if you need a discard card, you can go look for it. If you need a removal card, you can go look for it and get it. A lot of times it may seem too late because you have just enough mana to cast for this card and go get it, and it's a turn too late and your enemy kills you before you can use the card you just got. So yeah, I don't know if you have to have prophecy. Hopefully you've revealed your opponent's hand long enough times that you have an idea what he has coming your way, that you can sort of guess what you'll need ahead of time. Hooded Blightfang, we used this card a couple days ago in our Death Touch deck. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that matches up with our Typhoid Rats, gives us a little bit of synergy. And I realize I sound like a corporate businessman when I use words like synergy, but it's applicable here. So, you know, card game, business, whatever. Synergy. We've got it in the deck. Inevitable End, you enchant a creature and they have to sacrifice a creature. Usually you stick it on the big one, and if they have a bunch of 1/1s, they might sacrifice the bunch of 1/1s and keep the bigger creature for a while. But usually it's an effective card. 3 copies of Mind Drain, where they discard 2 cards and they mill a card and they lose 1 life, and you gain 1 life. 1 card that I consider discard adjacent, you can choose a card name, then you search their graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards. So if they have all 4 copies of the card in their deck, you can exile them all. If they've got the card in their hand, say you're getting rid of a Coma, and they've got a Coma in their hand, you exile the Coma card, but they do get, because you took a card right out of their hand, they do end up with this black zombie creature token on the battlefield. So then you'll have a 2/2 to worry about. 1 copy of Nighthawk Scavenger, because we need to have something to deal with flyers. He's mostly there because he has flying and Death Touch. His power increases with the different number of cards, card types that your opponents have in their graveyard. This is in conflict with a couple of our cards. It's in conflict with Elspeth's Nightmare. It's in conflict with Go Blank. Normally I wouldn't put him in there, but again, the flying Death Touch combination is great for black, and I don't have to pump mana into him to give it that. And if I don't empty his graveyard, he can get more powerful later as the game goes on, and his lifelink attribute will really kick in if he stays on the field. Here's the tap lands, Pelakka Caverns, that we can use if we really need more lands. Hopefully we keep them to use them as discards, Pelakka Predation over on the right. It does have a limit. You choose a card from it with mana value 3 or greater, so you can't get rid of the smaller cards. 1 copy of Suffocating Fumes to get rid of things like Scoot Swarm if we need to. 1 copy of Sparkhunter Masticore. This one has discard in the name, or in the description, but you actually have to be the one to discard a card because this card is potentially so powerful. If you got 3 free mana, you can make them indestructible, and you can also deal direct damage to planeswalkers. 1 Crypt Lurker. Since we're dealing against white and blue decks who have a lot of paralyzed cards, maybe we've got a useless creature on the battlefield. We can make them useful finally and make us draw a card with that. 1 copy of Extinction Event to exile if things exile a bunch of creatures if things turn against us. A Vampire Warrior, Highborn Vampire. So if we get him out, he will work with Acquisitions Expert and Malakir Blood-Priest to make both of them better. Slightly. And Lurking Deadeye, flash 4/2 creature. So we can flash him in on the opponent's turn. If the opponent attacks, say he attacks with a 5/5 creature and you block with a 1/1 creature, right? The enemy may think he's fine. He got rid of the chump blocker. He's got 4 life points left, right? Then you flash in the Lurking Deadeye, you target the creature. That creature dies. You can't use it on hexproof, so like Erebos the Sea God, when you have the 8/8 hexproof Kraken, you can't target the Kraken, so that won't work. Unless you have Shadow Sphere. Solemn Simulacrum. This is also why I can run just 21 lands in the deck. If I get 4 lands out, I can cast him, go get a basic land card, and put it into the battlefield tapped. Also, when he dies, he draws a card. Well, he doesn't draw the card. I get to draw the card. Scion of the Swarm, my other flyer. If he gains life, I get +1/+1 counter on him. Shadow's Verdict, again for the Scoot Swarms and the little 1/1 creatures, that kind of thing that we can exile. Tergrid, God of Fright. I don't usually use the right card. I usually use Tergrid's Lantern on the left as a legendary artifact. This is one of the few newer cards that I've used from the Kaldheim expansion. And you know, I wanted to see how well the discard deck could be without it, and I tested it for a while, and it was pretty good. I put it together before Kaldheim came out. When Kaldheim came out and I got one copy of this, I couldn't resist. It's just too great a card to put in, and it can really change the difference in the game, because discard can be a hard deck to play. Tergrid makes it a little bit easier on you. One copy of Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Because there are some limits to discard decks, I do have this card in here. I try not to use them. I have a little mini game I play, because I consider Ugin to be kind of overpowered and a bit of a cheat. And he's not fun to play a lot of times because the opponent will immediately scoop. They'll just quit. You can never get the 10 tokens here, the 10 loyalty counters, and do his final power. And if nobody's ever going to hang around to watch you play it, then it's kind of useless, right? But he's in there if I need him as emergency reserve. You know, there have been cases, I think, I don't know if we were able to salvage the recording. We had some technical issues, but I recently played a deck and I destroyed two Ugins, and then a third one came out and he finally got me. And I always feel good when I can destroy two Ugins, but I don't want to overuse him. I've probably got him in 5 or 6 decks. This is one. As I said, he's kind of like a little game that I play, that if I have him in my hand, I see how long I can go without playing him on purpose. Erebos' Intervention, another removal card. This does give me an option to exile cards from graveyard in case the graveyard's being a difficulty, but almost always I use it just to drain a creature of life and gain life for myself, and that can help provide synergy with Scion of the Swarm by pumping him up if I have this out and he benefits. One of the lands is Castle Locthwain, so that if I run out of cards and I'm just top decking, I can draw a card and keep going. 2 copies of Witch's Cottage, so if I only have 17 creatures, so if I have 3 swamps out, then this enters and I can put a creature from the battlefield on the top of my library and draw that card the next turn. But you always got to remember, it's going to come in tapped unless you already have 3 or more swamps on the battlefield. And finally, 1 copy of Field of Ruin. This is in case they have, like, this is good for taking out World Tree, or there's a couple of cards that create tokens. There's more cards that are land cards that create tokens these days, and those sort of things. So it's a good emergency card to have in case they have a troublesome land card. And that is the deck. Again, 2.7 average to draw, 21 lands, 23 if I need them for the tap lands. If you like what you see, click like. If you want to get notified when we come out with new content, hit subscribe. We need some help. We're a new channel. We want to know how we're doing too. We've been around for a couple of weeks. Go ahead and give us some comments in the comment section below. Let us know if you like what you're seeing. You know, we don't have the webcam set up. If you really want to see my face, you know, go ahead and vote on it. We'll take a vote and see. In the meantime, let's get to the gameplay. Alright, 3 lands. That's enough to start. Okay, general principles. If you got the mana to put it down, put it down. No sense saving stuff for a rainy day on your first turn. Do I want to trade already? Yeah, why not? If he has an enchantment, yeah, let's make him spend it now on a 1/1 creature. I am fine with that. You know why? Yep, I did that wrong. I needed 3 mana for that. Okay, I was going to just bring the Typhoid Rat back on top of the deck, but without 3 swamps, Witch's Cottage comes in tapped. So I messed up. the glitters. That's a disgusting card. We need a blocker. Wherever all the glitters goes, that's the card we're going to have to block. Yeah, you know why not? Because we can do this. Where are you going to put all the glitters now? Thank you. Thank you very much. That's also a disgusting card. Must go away immediately. And we have something important to do. This deck probably has this card. And most of the deck's purpose is to draw cards until you get it. And he's already got it in his hand. So it is going away. I'm hoping they'll put all the glitters on the zombie. No? Let's see. Each enchantment you control, it's an odd mana. Do I want to spend time looking for Grim Tutor now? No. Not just yet. There we go. I wanted to see what we could get here. Okay. Play all the glitters. Come on. You know you want to. Alright. Okay, this is easy. Stop holding on to that card. And please get rid of that creature. Lose value equal to its permanent mana value, and its mana value is 0. Okay, let's search for a card. I'm thinking removal. So simplest is this one. Oh, thank you. I feel better now. I feel like so comfortable now. I feel like a warm, cozy blanket. I got 2 different ways to kill people. Creatures, that is. Odd. You go, I stay. Take 4. You don't have too many more of those left, do you? Does he have any flash cards in that particular deck? I don't think so. He's using a pre-made deck. His best card was Kiora. I don't want to say the deck is useless without Kiora. He's got 3 Banishing Lights in this deck. So useless is the wrong word, but can't meet any of those qualifications, so it comes down just as a regular creature. I'm not going to sacrifice that creature himself just to go get another card. Canisal, okay. Can you find something? You can find another creature. How sweet. We don't care. We're going to attack anyway. Why would you do that? Oh. Let's see. That makes him a 5/5. We get our stuff first though, right? So this still affects you? Now resolve. You should become a 4/4, and he scoops. And that is why Subtle Strike is in the deck. That's why you Subtle Strike in a discard deck. Man, I like that card. Okay, we're going up against the Booty Goblin. How scary is that? Okay, this happens a lot of the times. They give us Ugin right up front, and he ends up taking up too much of my deck, or my hand, for the entire game. Sort of a self-imposed handicap. Speaker of the Heavens. We would not have been able to stop him anyway. But let's go ahead and take a look at what else we got in here. You're gonna get rid of your guy already? Okay. A Strict Proctor. Let's see. Okay, so this is kind of like... what do we want to get rid of? We'll get rid of Banishing Light. I'm not sure if that was a good thing for him to do. You actually don't want to make him discard stuff while he's got stuff in the hand. So we'll do something simple. If he wants to eliminate it, he can, right? Okay, that is going to be kind of worthless, right? Because it's going to come in tapped. Do we use it now or not? Let's do this first. He's got a lot of cheap cards, so our discards probably aren't going to be all that useful for very much longer. I'm kind of hoping to force him to use the instant on the Typhoid Rat. If he does, I'll try and see if I can hold on to this. For one turn. Oh, it doesn't work because of Strict Proctor. Okay. Forgot about Strict Proctor already. I think he might have too, which is why he spent so long thinking about that. Okay, he does do that. He waited to off it, but we're just Cottage down. But I didn't have the third land. You got something that can kill me there too? No. That was a bluff. Okay. What do we want to do? We'll go ahead and make him get rid of what he's got. He gets rid of Mardu Outrider, which is good. I'm not sure why he bothers to keep attacking there. That's exactly what we need to get rid of the flying threat. You see, we are having some land problems. You're going to use a Banishing Light on a 1-2? Okay. We're not going to do anything. Okay, we're going to try something. If he can stop it, I'd rather him stop it early and expose what he's got. He's got some sort of instant, we think. What are you going to do? Hello? Are you still thinking about it? Exile target creature or planeswalker. Why would you do that? I do not understand. Oh well. I don't want to lose 2 life and have him gain 2 life. So I'm not going to block that. He gets to do a point of damage against me. I get to do 2 points of damage against him. Come on. Oh, you're going to scry. Okay, that's going to make this game take a lot longer. Oh, I'm glad I waited. Okay. We're going to get rid of the possibility of me losing 2 lives against one of those. And since he doesn't have any cards anymore, and he's got a lot of land, it makes our discards a lot less useful. And now he's digging for stuff. Probably thinks he's got enough land himself. What are you holding on to? Okay, now this is a case where we might want to use Grim Tutor. Kind of depends. You know what? Let's go ahead and use Nighthawk Scavenger first. If he uses removal on him, his power's only 1, so it's not that big a deal right now. If he has another Banishing Light, I'd love for him to use it on Nighthawk Scavenger. But in the meantime, just the fact that he has lifelink will help us equalize real quick. Well, that's kind of funny. You just made my guy more powerful. And I get removal. Lurking Deadeye is held in reserve now, in case a bigger creature than this is put out and manages to survive. Or I can just flash him in as a blocker. Kind of feels like I don't need to. No sense taking damage when you don't need to, right? Flash in! I come in, and you exit. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. And, you know, he's making good use of all of his land. Okay, so here's where I could bring on Ugin the Spirit Dragon and just end the game real quick. But I don't like to do that to people at the very final round. This should be enough. We beat the Booty Goblin. And how many people can say that? Cemetery Stage. First copy I've gotten from Strixhaven for this one. Target creature you control has base power 2 until end of turn. Interesting. Alright. 4 lands? No way. What is wrong with this picture? I'm positively spoiled here. Called on cards, huh? Let's say hello. I fell in love with discard decks, I think, as soon as I saw Hypnotic Spectre. That I thought was the art was cool, the flying was cool, the power was cool. You always feel like you got away with something. Okay, he doesn't have enough power to pump that up. Not right now. So, we do this. -1, +1. We also see what else they got in there. Okay, strategic plan, Blizzard Brawl, counters. Let's see, in 3 separate seasons. What do we want to do? You know what, let's get rid of that. They can cast that quickly. We need a removal pretty fast between Spirit and Blizzard Brawl. We don't have a lot going on. Okay. We can get 2 cards for them to choose from because we have a Cleric and a Rogue. So that's 2 of the party mechanic. Are they going to show us the cards that we already know about? Or are they going to show us the other cards? Okay, Blizzard Brawl and an Ice Tunnel. Yeah, we'll get rid of Blizzard Brawl. Next! Attack! Okay, Ice Tunnel comes in tapped at least. You know what? We're not waiting around. We're using what resources we have. We're going to keep up the pressure. We're going to go as hard and fast as we can. And that's all we needed. That was almost too quick. I might have to do another match. Alright, only 2 lands again, although that could be our 3rd one. We'll run with it. Discard decks are really hard when it comes to land use because you seem to, you know, it's either feast or famine. Either you get too few lands or you just start to flood lands when you really don't need to. And I don't think discard is popular right now. I don't see a lot of discard decks. There's the discard cards, the spells are good enough utility that you see 2 or 3 of them in a deck every now and then. Let's go ahead and see what you got. You a night deck? You're a night deck, you got nothing I can take. Disgusting. And you can put out Bazir's Acolyte next turn. And I didn't get my land. Wasn't I just talking about that? Feast or famine? Alright, show me something. We're going to get rid of one thing. Yep. Land is the usual case. Hopefully it delays you on Bazir's Acolyte for a turn. And what do we want to do? Anything? We actually want to do the discard while we have the chance. Okay, lost Burning Yard Trainer and Bazir's Acolyte. That is good. And we still stifled you on land for a little bit, but not enough. Okay, Shadow's Verdict wouldn't be working on you anyway. How about we block with the Death Toucher? He should be willing to block. He should be willing to send his Venerable Knight out, right? No, he's not powerful enough. The First Striker is. Technically, if you puff up the First Striker, you're not going to do that. What do we want to do? We need some more cards. That's. I don't mind drawing extra land in early cases when I get Mazemind Tome out early. That's when I need land. Mazemind Tome really is good to get out early in the game. Get it out, use it. What are you holding on to? A Grasping Giant. Oh wow, that could have ruined my whole day. More cards, please. You don't care what they are, just give me more cards. I don't want to attack. He wants to attack. Why? What should we do? I don't have any creatures, so it doesn't make sense to put down Witch's Cottage yet. I don't want to put down the Disciple when he's still got the Knight around. Yeah, I know it. Okay, draw a card. I don't have enough left to bring down the creature. Okay, that's pacified. That's the spell that he did. Okay, let's make use of Hooded Blightfang being gone. Sacrifice creature. You. Thank you. For my next trip. Sacrifice him and bring him back. He's hoping to pop the Fireborn Knight. Not a bad tactic. I don't have enough to do everything I want to do. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm short 1. I need to get rid of the Knight so I can take care of the other one with the Disciple. And I'm not having much luck. So, let's see. Odd, even. That doesn't help. Four, 5. Okay. So we'll get this. We're done. It worked! Woohoo! Good game. Are you gonna quit? Please don't quit. I just started doing stuff. To you. Oh, jeez. I think I've mentioned this before. They pound on you, and they beat you up, and they get you down low in the life, and then you barely dent them. You barely scratch them. And they turn tail and run. And I would like to show you more of the deck, but I mean, I think we've managed to show you everything important so far. And I probably would have used Necromentia to just get rid of a couple of those Fireborn Knights, Or maybe they would have had Hacktos the Unscarred in this copy of the deck. This is a pre-made deck. I think it's called Company of Knights. And if you know the deck, it really helps. Especially if you're going to use a card like Necromentia. But yeah, they didn't really give me much chance to actually do anything. I mean, all we did is we got rid of a few cards. I mean, we did make good use of our discards. Did that make the difference? I don't know. But that's how discard works. And I think we'll leave it there for now. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have a new deck with a new mechanic to discuss. We'll have new fun. If you had any fun at all today watching this, please click like. And consider coming back to spend time with us again. Thanks for viewing our content. Have a good one.